right, welcome. Welcome. It's the first episode of the podcast. Trevor Cichosz is my guest. Former U.S. Marine, two-time champion of the world's toughest mudder, right? And I think probably some of the coolest things that you've done were the Mount Everest 100-miler or whatever that is, the run around Mount Everest. And then was it the race across Scotland?
Yeah, 200-miler.
Bit of an ultra marathoner, endurance athlete, former infantry marine, and of course author of Dear Grandma Rose, Letters and Journals from the War on Terrorism, written by a U.S. Marine Corps rifleman. Which I read your book. I read all the way through it, and there were some points I just had to like put it down because it just brought up. I was like, man, this is not like a nighttime read. To like go through some shit, but we served together in Iraq, Barwana, Iraq. Nobody knows where Barwana
is.
Haditha. Outside of Haditha from 06 to 07. Then you went back for another tour around Karma, 07 to 08.
Fallujah, basically.
Right. And then another deployment to Afghanistan. Was that 08 to 09?
09. We were second wave of the surge out there.
3 deployments into 4 years, and you probably have like 12 campaign ribbons because of it too. I have like 5, and I went on 2 deployments.
Is there three on a row, right? Yeah, I have 3 rows and then like 2, I think. Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah, so first I've deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan each once, but for some reason I have like 2 or 3 Afghan campaign medals, and it's because the officers out there, they're like, you know what, we're starting a new campaign so I can get 2 medals while I'm deployed. And
that's how it works.
It's all madness. Anyways, I was reading your book. One of the things kind of stuck out to me was when you went to MEPS, you wrote that you had never stayed in a hotel before. And so I found myself curious about like how you grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and like what was childhood like, because you also wrote like you can't prepare for boot camp. You're either cut out to be a Marine or you're not. And I definitely feel that. I've been a very independent person on myself. So yeah. Tell me what was early childhood like?
So my grandma raised on a farm, Great Depression. She instilled those values into my mother and her brothers and sisters, my uncles and aunts. And basically, growing up, if you wanted something to eat, you had to make it from scratch. You know, we had a thing full of flour, thing full of sugar. You know, like you had ingredients. We didn't have anything to microwave, hardly ever. So that's kind of when I say we never went out to eat. Like the bougiest we got was ordering pizza, and that was like maybe once a week at best. So I grew up with Costco lasagna, and never stayed in a hotel. If we went to Montana to visit my cousins, we did the entire trip in one push, and we'd ride in the back of the truck with a canopy, no seatbelts, laying on a blanket. So kind of old school redneck, I guess.
Old school redneck from the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if anybody describes themselves as rednecks from your part of town.
Oh, no, because when I went to the Marine Corps, when I came back in 2020, 15 years later, it was not the state I grew up in.
Yeah, same here. Same. I live in Colorado, and I was right when I got out. I think they were having what is it? The We Are the 1%, the Occupy Wall Street protests. I remember I was sitting at a coffee shop in like downtown Denver, and they were like marching through the streets with masks, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Is there a Wall Street in Denver?
There is no Wall Street in Denver, but there is a very active hippie / super left-leaning community.
Yeah, I've been to Manitou Springs, or you call that place?
Yeah, Manitou Springs, I would say, is not. Yeah, Manitou Springs is definitely pretty hippie, left-leaning, and Boulder especially, super hippie part of town. And then it's like it's very much a purple state, or it was, right? So like the Denver's like very, I would say, left leaning, and then you get out into the sticks where I live, and it's like it's pretty, my street is like full of veterans. There's like four infantry Marines, former, within earshot. My
Well,
house.
what I say about all that stuff is like if you were struggling to survive and working hard, you wouldn't have time to bitch. That's what I say.
Yeah, agree. Agree. Maybe life's a little bit too easy. Maybe we need some self-imposed
Yep.
suffering,
Yeah.
to learn something. What kind of a kid were you growing up in school? Did you fit well into school, sports? What were you
I was
into?
reclusive.
You kept to yourself? Do you have like maybe one or two close friends, big group of friends, or what?
I had like 3, 4 good friends, but small school. My class was 108 people.
Like your graduating
Yeah.
class? 180.
100,
Yeah, that's
108.
108. Yeah, ours was like hundreds and hundreds. It was pretty big.
Yeah. So
Were you into sports when you were in school, or?
no, I didn't want to get a physical. It cost money.
Yeah. Which is interesting because you became an endurance athlete after your time in the military. Always interested in that transition because I tried, but I'd get up to like 20 miles or so and then injure myself and then have to work back up. And I'm like, now I'm just too old. I'm in my 40s.
I'd say it's a combination of getting out of that high intensity environment, like structured, always. Oh, the jets are dropping bombs. That high structured environment and intensity. You're always doing something to get into civilian life, where you're basically like, what the hell am I doing? I'm free, right? But you need to burn that energy, still going. So, and around that same time, the book Born to Run came out. So.
Oh yeah, I read I think that's what got me into it too. That's the one about the the Indians that run, the Mexican Indians that run with or the Peruvians that run with like tires for sandals.
Yeah. I think it's Christopher McDougall who wrote that book. He inspired a whole generation. I mean,
I know for sure. He probably inspired that whole thing. And there's, of course, Colorado's like huge in ultra marathoning. We got like the Leadville 100 and crazy mountain races, and people are like, oh, let me see how long can I take, how quickly can I climb all 54 14ers in the state? And it's just like some insane endurance. I mean, there's some crazy people out here.
So from that book, I was like, well, I've never run more than 3 miles because, the Marine Corps. And I was like, you know what? I want to run 100 miles at Leadville. So that was my goal. And I figured I'd run a 24-hour race to see how I did to get ready for that goal. But then I did well, and I started winning money doing that. So kind of that went back burner. And in like 2018, I got an invitation to go to Leadville 100 for free, but I was deployed, so I missed it. And then they invited me the next year, and I missed it again. And then 2020, COVID happened, and lost my sponsor. So I've never got to do it, but I will do it.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I would definitely go up and support you and run 5 miles. Maybe that's probably what I could do.
You can do the bike portion, just ride along.
Yeah. What was your drive to join the Marine Corps? Like, what was your calling back then? Because that would have been what, like 05 when you joined up?
Yeah. So even before 9/11, I knew I was going to join the military. I don't know where I got that seed in my head, but it was there. And then it got reinforced with 9/11, and then it got double reinforced because I lived in a valley, and like just going to the next town over, which is 30 miles, felt like an adventure, right? I want to get the hell out of that valley.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the reason I picked the Marine Corps is because I was watching the news, and I saw the Marines 2004 being proactive in Fallujah, and I saw the Army bogged down. I was like, I don't want to be doing security operations. I want to be pushing forward because that's the Marine Corps mission. But it turns out when I got there, is the same thing as the Army.
Yeah. Little did you know we'd be landlocked and freaking running local security patrols and getting shot at all the time.
If I got my GED, I could have been, peer group with you. But
I was late. I joined up when I was 21 too. Actually, one of my friends from high school joined up in 2000, and he was in the invasion as he was in some supply battalion, and I was just like hooked to the TV. Oh, what am I doing with my life? Sitting around here smoking weed and not doing anything, just playing video games. Like, that's the path for an 18-year-old male in America. Like, I need to get out. So, like, it bit me. The war bit me, I guess. For sure. What did you think of boot camp? How was boot camp for you?
Easy. So the drill instructors couldn't pronounce my name, so they left me alone. I never got ahead. I never got behind. I just stayed in the middle and freaking cruised through. I think in the book I put that one story where I got singled out.
Yeah, where they were going to give you the guide
position. Yeah,
the guide flag. Yeah. You turned it down.
Yeah. Now you're pissed off more. But
you didn't want the boot camp leadership position that means so much to your professional development as a Marine.
I sucked at drill.
I carried the flag in boot camp, right, and got hazed a whole bunch.
Do you remember final drill when the middleman puts the rifle down and the guy left to right sticks it through and lays it? Yeah. Final drill, our stack fell over.
Yeah, there you go.
If I was the guy, it would have been worse.
It's funny how much drill is so important in boot camp. You know, it's just like you drill. I don't know if it's just shared suffering or it's just more of tradition or whatever, but like you never drill in the fleet.
Well,
unless you're about to get promoted meritoriously, then you got to do your drill.
Because the Marine Corps' entire marketing is based off sex appeal. How many people freaking sign up because of the uniform?
That's true, right? And the dragon. Back when I was thinking about joining up, there was the he slays the dragon. The Marine climbs this crazy.
I mean, that CGI was way ahead of its time.
Got his big sword, and then it all becomes this. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I remember that commercial.
Classic. I showed my son that not too long ago. My son's fascinated in the Marine Corps too. So we flipped on that documentary on Netflix, Marines. I didn't know that it was a Sebastian Younger documentary, so we flipped it on, and the machine gunners are sitting there. They're like, "Die, motherfucker, die! Die, motherfucker, die!" I was like, "Oh, this is like a real Marine Corps documentary, not like a PR." Oh, I'm like, Ray, you can't watch this. You're 7, man. Like those words are for Marines. You know? My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "That's the ditty. That's how you learn a 6 to 8 round burst in the Marine
Keep
Corps.
them in our cargo pocket.
Yeah, you say die, motherfucker, die. You probably say die 300 times a day in boot camp.
Bamses.
Kill. Every time you're doing a punch, you're like, kill. They teach you some like basic taekwondo moves, and then you're ready. You've done a little bit.
Donald Strand finally told me what YUT stands for. Do you know what?
The what?
Remember YUT?
Oh, yeah.
You told me it stands for you. Yeah, you too.
Yeah, and that came from our company first sergeant, Craig Cowart. He was a former recon guy. And this guy was just like, he just oozed cool, man. He just had the swagger like you would not believe. And every time he'd be like, "Oh, good morning, first sergeant," he'd be like, "Yut." You're like, what does that even mean? And that's where it came from.
Yeah,
That guy too. I remember in Afghanistan, we were up in some crazy hike. We deployed up to like where the Korangal Valley is and around that area, from like Jabad to Asadabad to Medarlam and a whole bunch of other places people don't know. But yeah, it was mountainous. So that guy, I remember one time we were looking for this mythical city called Bash. We'd sent like 3 units up there. They'd all gotten heat stroke and just couldn't find it or whatever. And we got up and we got to the ledge, but we took too many heat casualties and we couldn't really press the attack. and found a cave, and he just looked over at me and was like, "Come with me, killer," and he pulled out his 9mm. And he's just going to go clear this cave by himself with a pistol. I'm like, oh my God. This is why America wins wars, because we just have people like that who are just like, you know what? I got a stick and a rock, and I'm going to go get some.
Yeah, we found caves down the Helmand as well, in those little wadis. Yeah. I mean, they built houses out of that dirt. It's pretty freaking solid, except for the moon dust on top.
Right? Yeah, it seems like a totally different environment from the mountains where we were at.
Yeah, I went to JBAD as a contractor a few times, and totally different down south. Down south's like Iraq, except less infrastructure.
Yeah, Jalalabad, different story. Good food.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember just eating. I'd carry the radio, so I'd walk up with the lieutenant, and we'd sit down with the local chief or whatever, and they'd feed us goat and rice and cold Pepsi for some reason. There were parts of Afghanistan we went. They didn't even know. They thought we were Russian. They didn't even know there's a war with America. We'd sit down and explain it. They'd be like, "Ice cold Pepsi." Oh, okay, sure. Where did you even get refrigeration up here? I don't know.
Well, did you hear that story about, was it Russia traded a bunch of warships for Pepsi? And, yeah, like during the Cold War, because we did, what do you call that? We cut off trade. And we stopped shipping Pepsi to Russia, and they loved Pepsi. So they traded warships from their Navy to PepsiCo. PepsiCo gave Pepsi. And Pepsi, like the ninth largest Navy in the world.
Maybe that's where they get the Afghan proclivity for Pepsi from the Russians.
It's like a Russian, they gave you a Pepsi.
The 80s. That's hilarious. So you went from boot camp, you went to the School of Infantry at Camp Pendleton. That was probably like the most fun that I ever had in the military, was just learning how to be an infantry marine and just getting to shoot everything that infantry shoots and throw hand grenades, and everybody's all motivated to like become everything. The hikes suck. The hikes really suck out there, but man, that was probably a blast.
Yeah.
I think it's like 2 months. It's different now. I think it's a little bit.
You were Pendleton as well, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Going up the shelf, digging holes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. I enjoyed that experience too. Actually, I wanted to be stationed there, and then my second pick, they gave you a wish list, right? Which wasn't true. My second pick was 29 Palms, but actually, I don't think I put this in the book, but due to a underground rumor, me, Mason, and some other guys that didn't come to 2-3 got brought into the battalion commander's office and got accused of selling cocaine on leave, which none of us did cocaine. We're not even kidding. Like, I had to stand in front.
You're like,
I just stand in front of the man and be like, "Sir, I did not do anything." But because of that, they had to separate us, because I should have gone to 2-7, but because they wanted to separate all 5 of us accused into 3 battalions. So I was supposed to go to 2-7, but some guy who was accused took my spot, went to 2-3 instead. So.
Yeah, I would not want to draw those cards again, man. Like, being a Marine in Hawaii is probably one of the coolest experiences ever, because it's expensive as shit to live out there. And then you're in Hawaii, which is a little bit of a contrast coming back from Iraq, where you're just like, you haven't even laid eyes on a woman for like 7 months, and then all of a sudden it's just like bikinis everywhere, and you're like, it's a cultural shock for sure.
I remember coming back to my first pump. We landed actually on the runway there, the short one on K-Bay, where you have like 2,000 feet less than most standard runways. Stay there in his breath in the water, and we did a pattern around, seeing all the colors. Like, oh my god, the blue, the green, the red, because we saw every shade of brown for how long. So it's cool. I mean, that was always a shocker for me, all 3 times.
Yeah. So what was it like getting to your fleet unit, to 2-3?
Oh, I didn't do so well. You know that.
Yeah.
I was in Hawaii. So imagine never staying in a hotel, never seen a palm tree, and then I get there, and you guys are already tired from hating everyone else. Take it easy on us, and then I get libo, and I have a friend from high school that was there. He come pick me up every weekend. That was chaos.
Oh, you had a friend from high school out
Yeah,
there. Oh, that makes
that's why I was gone.
sense.
He picked me up.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us definitely spent a little bit too much time drinking down in Waikiki and getting in trouble. And I think I eased up after my second deployment, but after my first deployment, we'd start doing more cool stuff like learning how to surf and knee and bodyboard and do that. I did my first skydive out there too at Skydive Hawaii because one of the Marines that honestly, he was probably my best friend in the Marine Corps. He got shot in our first gunfight and medically retired, and he wanted to do a skydive with me before I left. Okay, sure.
That's cool. Do I know him?
Matt Wilson.
Oh, Wilson.
No, he was. I mean, he was medically out of the Marine Corps by the time.
Oh, okay.
I like that you mentioned me once in the book for helping you unpack your first night.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like what
I still think you guys took it easy on us. I mean, he singled out Chavez, but yeah, basically, yeah, come in, get checked in, and they divide us up: Golf, Echo, Fox. Bye. And then Gutierrez is driving that night. Dropped us off, showed us our room, opened the door, walked in. We're like, whoa, it's bigger than freaking SLI. Close the door. Knock, 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 knock. You, Dunaway, Domstrand, and Adams there, I think. Or Davis.
Sounds about
Yeah,
right.
I don't think Davis was there. But yeah, crashed our room and told us to be a formation.
I think we did that to everybody once, at least once. I remember doing it to Gomez, and then he had like missed the chow hall or something, and he was like hungry, didn't have any money. I bought him a Subway sandwich, and he hit me up after we got out, and he was like, you know what I always remember? He was like, you were like so nice that night. You bought me a Subway sandwich. And I was like, yeah, that's just not, I was kind of an asshole back then. I was just kind of mean. I suppose combat will turn you a little bit mean when you're in the thick of it and looking to go back. But yeah, he always struck me as, that's one of my top leadership lessons learned was in the midst of treating everyone like garbage. Like, oh, buy the guy's sandwich or remember it forever.
I think it's a balance of showing them who's in charge and then maintaining that authority, but also making sure that you maintain the cohesion, that they respect you. Yeah, you gotta have that authority and respect, and that's very tough to do in a full male environment. It's actually one of the hardest things. My last deployment was a squad leader. That was difficult. I had a mutiny at one point in Afghanistan, which I don't even think I mentioned in that book. So
you had a
mutiny at one point, almost. I had to settle. So.
I had a bit of one in Iraq myself, so I feel it. You get on those deployments and they're just pushing you so hard, you're getting like 3 hours of sleep a night. Like, it breaks people down.
Yeah.
It really does. Especially if the leadership's not out there doing it with you.
I went on every patrol,
Yeah, exactly. And it really was like a squad leader's war.
Yeah, the whole GWAT.
Small unit actions the whole time.
I did one platoon operation in 3 deployments. Oh, I think you guys did one in Barwana. You took the AAGs to the island or whatever.
We tried. We got the Amtrak stuck in the Euphrates. I have video of it too. We're like totally stuck up on some underground pipe or something, and Cooper was just talking shit. He's like, did anybody do a recon of this area before we went out? We were like, no, nobody did that. That would have been great. And then they actually sent Force Recon to raid that island, and they freaking toasted a bunch of dudes. So, but that was one of those weird situations because like I had developed the intelligence on the island and we sat down in an ambush position a whole bunch and I was like, I guess they have weapons. It kind of looks like it. I don't know. And Staff Sergeant Rada was like he was like egging me on. He's like, take the shot. I was like, you take the shot if you fucking think they have weapons, man. I don't fucking know. And then it went up to battalion, and then the intel got back to me, and I was like, this is what we were talking about. Now they're sending us out on, okay. Then we got stuck in the Euphrates. Yeah, anticlimactic.
Imagine we had drones back then.
I know.
Seriously.
Send up a little DJI drone. Oh, yep,
we
got him.
We were like the last semi-conventional wars.
Yeah, and yeah, that's something that's really changed quite a lot that I see as pretty terrifying, the whole drone warfare thing.
Yeah.
Not that we would fight the way that the Soviets and the Ukrainians do. Still, man, it's still like a war of attrition between those guys.
Yeah, I've been to a few courses speaking with guys that have time out there. That's not a war you want to be part of.
Yeah, no thanks. There's like a lot of vets going over there too.
Yeah,
just to go back to fight. Yeah. So tell me about the moment before your first deployment.
So I got to the fleet in April, and basically went straight to PTA, which is the only place in Hawaii we can shoot live rounds. And then we had a quick turn with 29 Palms for Mojave Viper combined arms exercise, which is what something we do annually before deployments. And then we went on leave, and then end of August, I think, we were getting ready to deploy, and I got appendicitis. Everyone thought I was freaking trying to get out of deployment, but
yeah, that was like the deployment formation. They were like, is everybody here? We're going to war like tonight. I think the advance party was going out that night because I was a part of the advance party, which is like one day ahead or something.
Yeah.
Or no, the Advon goes out like 2 weeks before, but they were like, yeah, I was part of the
Advon was out there already, I think. Yeah. We were getting ready to go like next day or day after, and that night I didn't sleep at all. I was curled up in a ball like a little deer, you know. If I stretched my legs out, pain was intense. So I just thought it was a really bad stomach ache. I was dehydrated, whatever. But with the formation, sitting there kind of leaning over, first sergeant came out, called attention, stood up, fell backwards. Boom.
I had a flashback when I read your book, and I was like, oh, I remember that. It's funny how much you forget about. I took a lot of notes, too, when I was deployed. I took a lot of, kept a journal, too, so that's how I'm able to remember, a lot of stuff. Some stuff you want to forget, but yeah, I forgot all about that. I was like, oh, I remember. Passed out in formation. Everybody was talking trash.
I have a very good memory, but I don't remember anything from when they said attention and I passed out, for me being in the hospital. That's how
That's crazy.
I would remember. I remember people talking shit to me when I got out of the hospital, but not in between there. I'm sure they did, which I don't care.
Yeah, I think Simmons was the first one to treat you and kind of figure out that you were all messed up.
Yeah.
Well, Doc Simmons. I ran into him a few years ago too. He's he's definitely looks like the backwood redneck type now. We went up to we had probably 12 or 16 guys meet up in Georgia, and we were I just remember everybody pulled out their rifles or whatever, and he was like, anybody got batteries? And I was like, figures the Navy guy's rifle needs batteries to work, Us idiots are on iron sights or just some cheap glass.
Yeah.
So there's a good time. It's good to reconnect with the dudes.
I reached out to them. I do that randomly here and there. Reach out to people I haven't heard from a long time to see if they reply or whatever. Check in. I was like,
I'm trying to. I want to bring everybody on the podcast and kind of go through
it. I think you should. I think it'd be good for some people. People get dark.
Yeah, and it's been 20 years, man. I definitely reflect back on my time a bit differently than I used to be. Well, I got out and I just taught yoga full time for like 5 years. So kind of was in that world and working on actively relaxing for years afterwards. I still need to work on it.
Running was my meditation.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I'd forgot, man, because I guess we were so caught up in what we were doing in Iraq and the op tempo was so busy that I didn't even know that you weren't there for the first couple months.
Yeah, I got there.
I had no idea. I was like, I thought you were just in third squad there the whole time.
No.
Wild. So you wound up, we deployed to Iraq in like early September of 2006. And then you showed up November, December?
End of November, I think.
That's when I got shot. November 25th.
Yeah, it was a hell of a time getting there.
2006. 19 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just finding a flight to get out there because it was probably all space available. And then trying to get back down to the unit too.
The hardest part was getting a fucking doctor to sign off in Hawaii.
Yeah, that sounded like a nightmare. But also maybe you should have gone out drinking and fighting.
I was pissed off. I got out because I woke up from the surgery and he's like, "Oh yeah, you'll be here like a week." And I was like, "No, I gotta go to Iraq." I got up and started walking out and dragging my dumb thing with the freaking the tubes and everything behind me in the hallway and leaving, and they freaking stopped me and like, "We're gonna freaking call security if you don't go back to your fucking bed." And then the doctor came in and he's like, "Looks like you're walking. You can leave today." So I got one wound. And then he's like, "I'm not gonna assign you to deploy for 2 weeks. I'll see you in 2 weeks." And they stapled my stomach, like 6 staples. I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah. And so during your recovery, wounded Marines started coming back.
Yep. Yeah.
And probably a bunch of them too. It was pretty wild out there.
Yeah.
How did that affect your the place where your head was at?
It was like throwing more wood on the fire. I mean, so this is after the staples got ripped out in the fight. And they're like, "Well, now we got to stuff it. And I'm not going to sign your paper until it fully closes, which is now 6 weeks." So I'm responsible for that problem, but he should have let me go. Anyways, I was alone, so I hung out at the MWR to play the Xbox, Grand Theft Auto, and I was playing it, and then I saw Gainey with bandages on his arm because he got shot 5-6 times. And
yeah, he got his like zippered across the chest.
Yeah. So I was like, "Hey, Gainey," and he recognized me. Actually, that was a blessing because me and Gainey got to hang out. So we were the only two, 3 Marines. The other ones were more critically. They weren't there. They're either in Germany still, or they went home or something. But me and Gainey hung out a lot. Became pretty good friends.
Yeah, he was an aggressive war fighter for sure. Yeah, I think he got a Bronze Star for that day.
Did. I remember the formation.
Which is, that's what it takes for an enlisted guy to get a Bronze Star, get shot in both arms and keep fighting. Yeah. If you're an officer, you just get one for going on deployment. Here's your Bronze Star for your deployment.
Yeah, Afghanistan, every lieutenant and every platoon, because we worked platoon-sized cops instead of a big company fob. Every lieutenant got a Bronze Star deployment.
Yeah, the boilerplate. My buddy Cody is a guy I met him skydiving, and he was in 4th Force Recon. Before that, he was Army Special Forces, and he kind of like weaseled his way into Special Forces from like the civilian side. Really incredible story. I gotta have him on, but he talks shit about the boilerplate awards and all that stuff. And if you ever read The Things They Carried, it's a book about the Vietnam War, right? It's like what does he say? He's like, the thing you learn in war is that some people never earn medals that should have got them. And then some people just get medals and they never should have got them in the first place. And that's just kind of how it goes.
And some people never wear them.
Yeah. right? Or have the time. You don't even get awarded them at the end, right?
I don't even think I have my blood straps.
It's about that. Yeah, it's wild. So then I imagine there were probably a few guys coming back wounded. Mostly if you only had like a minor wound, they probably take you back to Al Assad and then ship you back out to the FOB or just give you a day off. Like they gave me like 2 days off at Haditha, and then they're like, "Come on, you got to come back." And I'm like, I wasn't like injured from I got grazed, but I was psychologically wounded for sure. I mean, it definitely cut. I was like,
I can't even imagine. That was the velocity on that round. 7.62 by 39.
Yeah.
I saw it. I know the picture. It's in my head. Like
Dragunov
round. Lucky.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's 7.62 by 53.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're lucky.
Yeah. So
that's
I'll tell you what. The Charlie Kirk shooting really hit me. It hit me for the first time, starting to think about the guys who were there and how long they probably spent thinking that I was bleeding out from the neck, right before they knew that I was okay. I was like, I instantly thought of those guys. Like Finley was there, Gillette, Joe Petishnock, Cooper, Dunaway, all those guys were there. Doc BQ. Just thinking, man, what if they probably saw that happening to me in their mind before they figured out I was all right. Hell, I saw it happening. I was like, it was kind of crazy.
Let me ask you a question. What would you have done if you found you?
What would I have done if I had found the guy? That's a tough question because it was the same guy that killed Lopez. So we found out it was the same guy. We found his name. We found out where he lived. I got the the guy who was working military intelligence with us. I forget his name. I think he said it was Rory. It wasn't Rory.
Yeah,
he's a fake name with that.
Secret Squirrel. Secret Squirrel. No.
Yeah, and what he told me one night that they found him, and so we went out to the dude's house and we ransacked the place. And I remember his mother was there crying, and we basically, we're like, "Where the fuck is he? We're gonna kill him as soon as we find him. We're gonna kill him." And we spent a little bit of time. It got a little dark because I started telling the townspeople what I was gonna do to him when we found him, and the lieutenant was like, "You can't do that." It's like, well, who's gonna stop me? So wow. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I would have done. I was in a dark point in my life.
We were clear to shoot anyone on a roof, So
pretty much, yeah. So I think that's probably a big reason they put me out on the entry control points rather than doing security patrols after that. Was because Lopez was a good friend of mine too, and it was the same shot profile. It was from about the same distance. The only thing that saved me was Cooper saw him in a window. He was like, the dude had put a little orange rag out to signal his buddies that he was ready for the ambush. It was a complex ambush too, because they emptied out the school. Some guys threw hand grenades over the wall at us, and we avoided those. And then they opened up with like rifle fire from here, and then he was taking pot shots down into the palm groves from wherever he was at. So Cooper saw the rag.
Oh, so you're talking about the school right by the ECP we created? The one that we used to sleep in and burn all the desks and chairs.
No, this was the elementary school a little further north, like deep into the palm groves.
I know that one.
That's where they were launching mortars at the base.
I remember twice a day. Got the cash, yeah.
Which I got to talk about your mortar story too, because I think everybody was numbed out to them at that point when you showed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cooper saw the guy put a rag out, and he was like, "Perna, I fucking saw a guy in this window." So I literally raised my rifle up, and that's when I got hit. So I thank Cooper. I've thanked him quite a bit for that day, and for Lopez being my guardian angel, honestly. I don't know he didn't get me, had me dead to rights.
I believe,
So maybe he just took a hasty shot because Coop saw him.
I believe in the guardian angel thing. I think
I do strongly.
my sister
I've talked to Lopez quite a bit in my heart and get answers. So yeah, I definitely believe that he was my guardian angel that day, and ever since then too. So, but that was intense. That was tough. So, but yeah, they were mortaring our base twice a day, only during lunchtime and dinner when you had to scurry across to go get your food or whatever. But I remember that specifically. You know, before our first patrol, our squad almost got taken out by a mortar because a dud hit maybe less than 10 yards behind us. And we were out on the catwalk getting ready to go. That was my introduction to Iraq. The whole squad was just like day one, patrol one. It's just 7 a.m. in the morning, just mortars hitting. Boom. There's a dud hit right behind. So yeah. Tell me what that was. You know, I definitely was interested in the part of your book because most of us just went there together, and we went through that shit together and kind of had to adapt to that situation. But you joined us a little bit later, and you said that you felt kind of like an FNG, right? The fucking new guy.
Yeah, so yeah, it was weird. It was a situation out of control. I'd trained with everyone. I wasn't the worst. I wasn't the best, and during the workup, so but because of the situation out of control, all of a sudden I was a boot going in, and so instead of them being welcoming, they were just basically made me isolated. So I was like all alone once again. I've been alone in Hawaii, trying to work my ass off to get there, and then when I get there, singled out, put in the corner, say freaking, wake up this time. No one told me shit. Like, and then when I did ask questions, they made me feel stupid for asking them. So it sucks. It was kind of a bad deployment that way, but it actually made me stronger. You just learn to. I'm going to work anyways, so I figured everything out. But getting there was hard. I went to Hawaii International Airport with my rifle and everything in the case. I had to figure out how to check that, and then
that's why
I went to Kuwait. I dropped another bomb. I went to Kuwait, no clue where to go. No one told me shit. So I had to go check in and try to find a flight for freaking Al Assad. I had to wait 3 days there. Get to Al Assad, and no clue what to do again. Luckily, the supply sergeant, the battalion supply sergeant, was there from 2-3, and he found me. He recognized me somehow. 1,000 people in the battalion. And he's like, "Hey, are you going to
Sergeant Lopez?" He was a good dude. He hooked us up with gear. He hooked us up with everything. He was a good dude.
So he saw me walking around lost, looking for where to get a flight. And he's like, "Hey, you going to Vietnam?" I was like, "No, I'm going to Barwana." He's like, "Well, that Kevlar you have is from Vietnam." I was like, "Let me get you a new one." So he got me one of the new Kevlars, just lighter, right? You guys all had, because I still had a Vietnam era Kevlar weighed 30.
Jeez.
But anyways, that was nice of him. He showed me where the flights were, and I got out of Al Assad real quick. Then when I was in the dam, I got put down in the holding room, and Monterez was there laying on his belly because he got shot in the butt in Haditha. Remember?
Clean through both cheeks, too.
Get 5 butt Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I actually left before him. He had another week to I don't know, dry out or whatever you call it. But yeah, Sergeant Domino took me up. And then that was it.
He was hard. Domino was hard. And those guys who were doing the convoys too, man, they would get out in V-sweep and just walk all the way from Barwana to the dam for resupply, and then walk all the way back because they had to. I always dreaded that, because in Barwana, we weren't allowed to drive vehicles inside the town of Barwana because of the IED threat. So we just walked. And the idea being that if it was just one guy standing next to the IED, they wouldn't blow it up they would wait until 2 or 3, and so at least for me, I always had this habit of like, get the fuck away from me, guys. Everyone,
Yeah.
you want to keep a distance from your friends. Like, I want you close, but like 10 yards close. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I should say meters. It's meters.
Yeah. So on that drive there, we got to the first choke point, and they dismounted to get the B sweep, and I was like getting ready to crack the door. I was like, I want to get out and do something. And he's like, stay up in there. Like, so I was like, Roger that. That car.
Yeah, because by the time you had come out, we had already lost Jones and Lopez. Yeah. Honestly, we probably lost a dozen or so guys in the whole unit by then. And that was a tough time, man, because we lost those guys 9 days apart. And on the same day Lopez was shot, my buddy was killed over on Haklania too. Brutal.
That's how my mutiny happened. Because in Afghanistan, we had 10 vehicles. We were down to 3 within 2 weeks from IEDs. And so I walked everywhere. And one time we had to go out to this place that was 10 kilometers away, one way. And we walked. And when we got back, one of my team leaders took his Kevlar off, threw it on the fucking ground. I was like, you motherfuckers, like, started yelling at me. And I was like, man up. You know, I was the only squad in the entire battalion not hit an IED in Afghanistan. The second squad from Fox, 3-2, they hit 3 in one patrol. Like, I didn't hit it because I walked everywhere.
Yeah, maybe it's time to slow down and not walk into crazy shit. I think there's a, there's a balance between bravado and just doing something stupid in combat, unfortunately, because I think a lot of guys kind of walked into shit that maybe they shouldn't have, and probably people got hurt. Everybody in my squad made it back. A few of us got minorly wounded, but I think we were all pretty good. But man, the way I describe Iraq was like getting attacked by ghosts all the time. You didn't see the enemy. It was super rare.
Yeah.
Like, see these guys. You just walk around and get ambushed. And steel rain would fall out of the sky when you're trying to freaking take a dump, and it's stressful, dude.
I know, so
the mortars are stressful.
You're totally right. Like in Afghanistan, I didn't know what to do with the body when I got it, because I didn't, like in Iraq, I got the bodies, did you? So, like, I was like,
yeah, no, they would drag them away. We'd see like blood marks and get dragged away, and I mean, it was. Yeah, you didn't really see a whole lot of enemies fall, or shot a whole bunch, though. Shot a whole bunch of rounds over there. I used ChatGPT to estimate how many rounds I shot in combat, and it was like in something insane number. I was like, holy crap. That kind of puts it in perspective.
Everyone carried at least 180. So
yeah. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
My first patrol, I was like, I'm taking the AT4 because I'd shot one point, right? Then I went in the doorway. I was like, I ain't carrying that anymore.
Yeah, it's like a rifle and hand grenades, and the ROEs were so restrictive that it was like you got a rifle and hand grenades and some machine guns, and that's it. And so does the enemy. I mean, it was definitely a level playing field between us versus the enemy out there.
Wild close quarters it is. Because war is all about having the furthest reach, right? But in urban warfare, that's dumbed down to people, no matter what you have.
17 meters. I don't know what the average engagement distance was in Iraq, but I know in urban terrain it's 17 meters, which is crazy. I actually had 3 guys open up on me from about maybe 10 yards one time.
Jeez.
I want to say I did something cool, but honestly, I slipped and I fell on my back and I like waddled back in the. It was so many terrifying moments.
Or someone wants to laugh at you, put them in the same situation and shit their pants.
Yeah. So, and then you wound up going to, so you got back from that deployment, and you got promoted to a team leader for to go to Karma,
No,
right?
actually, we had a huge boot drop because I feel like there's like a big one, a small one, a big one, a small one, right? And so we were a smaller one, and our one was big. So basically, we had a lot of guys fighting over a team leader. So actually, we were heavy, and our boot drop was small. So we had like 7 senior Marines and like 4 boots. So everyone was fighting over a
Wow.
position. I just stood back, like I did in high school, like I did in boot camp, like I did everywhere else. Like you guys fight over it. Oh, blah. I was a
Yeah.
GP, general population.
We didn't really have that. We had 3 senior Marines in my squad, and so they were like, okay, here's your leadership positions. I don't think Jason or Cade really wanted the squad leader position, so they gave it to old Lance Corporal Perna, which is supposed to be, you're supposed to be like your second enlistment, a sergeant, have done like 2 tours before you're a squad leader, but yeah, not in the middle of the war when there's only like 8 guys in a squad.
Yeah, you got
And they're just like, yeah, you're going back, so here you go. We're going to meritoriously promote you so it doesn't look so bad on paper.
yeah, we were 3 Lance
Right,
Corporal squad leaders. Well, no, I think Davis was a corporal when I arrived.
yeah, he got meritoriously promoted, I think, before, and I went up on the board and got promoted. And then, of course, all the Lance Corporals that were like Marines with me got combat meritorious overseas because they handed a bunch of those out. And I was like, man, that sounds cooler than what I did.
Sorry,
I did a bunch.
I gotta grab this real quick. Dude, if I showed you the barracks room here in this Air Force base, you'd be like, "Fuck these motherfuckers."
It's all sweet. Yeah.
Look, I got a kitchen. That's my room back there. This is a barracks standard for Air Force. And this is a shitty base.
It's legit. Yeah, that's something else that I read in going back to your first deployment with when you were with 2nd Platoon, was that they put all the junior Marines in one room, and then the squad leaders like had their own room, and I was like, that's pretty fucked up. Because like,
yeah,
we just live one squad per room. That's always the way that 3rd Platoon did it. That's the way we did it in Afghanistan. It was like, you fucking sleep with the guys you go out with.
Exactly.
That's the dudes that you're fighting
and then,
with.
like,
I didn't even know that happened, man. Like, that's how tuned out I was.
Platoon was so fucked up.
Yeah, you had a squad leader too that I walked in on, up in near the fish market. They'd gotten in some contact, and he pulled like 10 or 12 dudes in off the street, and he was taking them into a room and threatening them with a pistol whipping them, and just trying to get like intel from these guys. And I was like, that's fucked up, man. We left because there was
he was a vigilante, and he had like 3 guys in the squad like that just sucked the drip from his dick, and it was just a bad environment. So we had like 2 separate units in the squad going out all the time. Like people, there was like the crazy ones. It's like the movie Platoon. There's the crazy ones. There's the ones who don't give a shit. Just kind of just swing both ways. There's the ones who are like, fuck this shit. I was part of the fuck this shit part, like Elias, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, but I want to talk about your second deployment too, because I both Colonel Galliai and Sergeant Major Wilkinson, I call him Pat now. He lives down in Colorado Springs. I met up with him back around Memorial Day, actually. It was intense because I hadn't seen him. Well, last time I saw him, he had both legs, And then who was it? First Sergeant Goldman asked me to go to, and Captain Dykeman. They all asked me to deploy back to Iraq with you guys, and so I felt a lot of regret after they were killed. in that suicide bombing. Was that June of '07?
Uh,
June something? That
August
fucked
August
me.
7th.
Or oh wait, it was '08.
August 7th.
June.
Oh no, August 7th was Afghanistan when we lost 5 guys in ID. It might have been,
That was '08 because I was a civilian.
yeah, it might have been June. I gotta look. But
That fucked me up because the VA was like, the VA doesn't want, the VA psychiatrist doesn't want you to have any feelings about your deployment or combat or anything. So they had me on all sorts of drugs. They're like, you're having nightmares. That's bad. I'm like, well, they're combat dreams. It's expected. And so I just remember that I couldn't feel as bad as I wanted to feel when those guys were killed. So that's what led me to just like get off of them. It sounds like rifle fire outside your window.
F-16s dropping bombs.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, that's
I'm like
cool.
10 miles from the Trinity site. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Oppenheimer. Yeah. They drop bombs all day.
That's awesome. I love it. You're like, oh, they're dropping bombs. I'm like, I just thought there was a euphemism, but nope, actual bombs.
Feel that one?
Well, that's fun. Yeah, we just get the F-22s, F-16s out here all the time from the Space Force Base, Buckley Space Force Base.
That's real, right?
That's a real thing.
I thought it was a joke.
Space Force.
I haven't seen a uniform yet.
That's because it looks like the Air Force uniform. Actually, they took a bunch of Air Force dudes and they put them over there. My neighbor's in the Space Force, former Air Force.
I like to talk to them.
They changed over. They just changed his total unit. They were just like, oh, you're just in a different branch now. He's like, oh, okay.
Well,
You do what you're
got
told.
another ribbon.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about the military too, is you don't get a choice where you deploy, right? So you don't get the option to be like, yeah, I want to go to the shit. I want to go to Da Nang or be somewhere out on the Syrian border where nothing ever happens.
I think I got lucky because I joined because I wanted to serve, right? But so 3-5 from my flight class, they did 2 freaking boat floats, and that was it. Those guys from 2005 to 2009 never did a single combat deployment. 2-3 did 3 in that time frame. Weird.
Yeah. But of course, 2-3 didn't have any part in like the invasion. And from 03 to 04, there was nothing. I went on the first combat deployment since Vietnam for 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. Actually, I was in the first gunfight since Vietnam in that unit.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You don't think about it at the time, It's like you don't think about the historical significance of what you're going through. Mainly because you're so fucking exhausted and pissed off and your pack's heavy.
I went to Khe Sanh in Vietnam on a trip, and I think that was 2-3's like last deployment, because they were one of the units to try to relieve the tension. Because remember, Khe Sanh was surrounded. Like if you go there, so there's this big round, like half globe hill exposed, and there's mountains around it. So the Viet Cong were on all those mountains, just bombing the hell out of that.
Yeah, my uncle was out at Khe Sanh.
And 2-3, one of their objectives was to climb one of those mountains and get rid of the Viet Cong on it. That's where they got the 2 medals of honor. PFT Mason was one of them together. But it's kind of cool to go there, just put everything that you read in perspective.
Yeah. That's something crazy about being on Hawaii too, is you go for a run in the morning and there's like a memorial where like someone won a Medal of Honor for shooting down a Japanese Zero. Like they don't have that at 29 Palms.
Yeah, no, they got tweakers still on the scrap metal.
Yeah. For sure.
You said, look at.
So it sounded like the deployment to Karma was just like a pain in the butt, but
yeah, so
pot shots, not a whole lot of action.
So,
and then of course the battalion commander and everybody, Captain Dykeman, were killed in that suicide bombing with like 25 other chiefs and like tribal elders, and then like a whole bunch of it. Like it was a massive.
Yeah, it was attack. Like he's the highest ranking officer killed in the Iraq War, Marine Corps side, I believe, or maybe overall. But basically, I summed the deployment up very quick. So we took over a morgue. And they put 2 platoons in one room on different So you never slept, ever. Someone's always awake, or playing freaking football in there, or watching movies. And the gunny had nothing to do, never went on patrol. So when you weren't patrolling, you were doing work in party. And then a post, we had 2 guys on each post. So post cycle, you're doing 8-hour post, 8 hours off. And patrol tempo was crazy. Nothing was going on. So everyone's pissed off, everyone's bored, and then boom. And Dom Strand was squad leader. We were on QRF. We were loaded up, ready to go in seconds, sitting in the vehicle, and no one knew where to go. We sat there forever. Donaldson was part of the team that escorted them, and he was there. He was the first responder on site. You should probably talk to him to get a better story, but we sat in the vehicle for an hour, maybe more, and then they called us off. So never mind, someone else was going to go. That's how bad our staff reacted to it. We were ready. Staff wasn't ready for it. They it should just point us, send us on our way until they figure out something else, right? Instead of they held us in queue until they found something closer. How about send us and we'll drive until we find something closer in case that something closer ain't faster enough.
Probably just chaos at the COC because they didn't have any recent like mass casualty drills or even see the need for it. And then all of a sudden it's just too many people at once.
Well, I'm just saying this from what I heard. But the only reason Staff Sergeant or Sergeant Major Wilkinson survived is because he's the only one wearing a life jacket, which means that's how complacent everyone was. Everyone else took the step off to be respectful, which
saved his life. Probably.
Well, he was Barwana, right? So
yeah. You know what's crazy too is that I took out the division general on a combat patrol in General Neller. I took General Neller on a combat patrol in Barwana, and we got in a gunfight. And he became the commandant a few years back, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude, I got in the shit with that guy." But I just remembered he was such a great leader too, because he just strapped his M16, got in the patrol, and was like, "Hey, you're the patrol leader. I'm just another gun." Like, okay, we're gonna go to the Palm Grove, sir. Yeah, it's funny. I met up with Pat Wilkinson Memorial Day of last year because he puts up a big display in his yard. He's been living in the Springs for the last few years. Man, the whole time driving down there, I just so much in my head because he asked me to go back to Iraq and I would turn him down for some stupid fucking reason. Probably just because I couldn't handle another deployment psychologically at that point. I was like, I need some time. I just lost a whole bunch of my friends. Our leadership lost their damn minds, or they just left us out there without any leadership. That our company commander, who knows where the fuck that guy went, the first sergeant, he doesn't stay in touch with us. I'm like, I got Pat's phone number, dude. I'm like, wish him a Merry Christmas. But I just remember so much was going through my head, but it was just one of those moments where like nothing had to be said.
Well, Moran was there earlier.
Dude gave me a great hug. I told him too, I was like, geez, dude, you're carved out of wood. I mean, he's a solid guy. He's like, yeah, balsa. He's like, balsa wood. I was like, no, man. I'm like, you're jacked, dude. It was intense, but he met my family, my wife. And
I love to see him again.
Be worth it. He'd be open to it, man.
He's in the Springs, you said?
Yep.
Roger that. I got him on Facebook.
Dude.
Yeah, we've actually chatted a bit. It's been a while.
Yeah, he's only on Facebook around Memorial Day. So I'll give you his number.
I'd appreciate that.
He'll be happy to. He loves to stay in touch with the guys.
Yeah, he actually reached out to me and he's like congratulated me on the racing and stuff. That was cool. That was nice. Because I always thought of myself as like average, below average Marine. So having to reach out.
He's a good leader, man. He's a good dude. Different dude now than he was. we're both civilians now, so it's just way different. And then, so your third deployment then was to Afghanistan as part of the. Did you guys stay at Camp? Was it Camp Bastion, Camp Leatherneck, or whatever they called it?
So,
my cousin was out there with 3-6.
Yeah, they were the first.
He was part of the guys that flew in on the MV-22.
Yeah, they were the first wave. So it was 2-7, 3-6, I think, and actually 2 guys I work with. Well, not here right now at this time, but on other deployments were on that wave with 3-6. Yeah, great guys. Their stories, because we basically dropped off. All right, figure it out. Bye. no problem, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild. Afghanistan was just a crazy war, man. What a crazy. It's like 1,000 years. You're going back in time like 1,000 years, but they all have rifles and mortars.
Yeah, so like kind of the precursor to that, I'm not sure if you followed much the Afghan after your deployment, but the Americans took the North, because they're looking for bin Laden and stuff, but the British took the South. I read a book pretty good about the years from 2005 and 2007 before the Marines went in 2008. And like the British couldn't even leave jobs. They just constant firefights. They do 90-day trips and they don't leave. It's just constant firefight for 90 days. So yeah, it's along the supply route. Because, it's the same story of Vietnam. Like they go to Laos or Cambodia, rest, stock up. That's the Ho Chi Minh Trail. But this is the Pakistan Trail. And they come through there. It's easier to go up there and go into Kabul and Bagram and disperse from there. So it's kind of like that. Remember Barwana? We were stopping the Euphrates River flow from Syria as our entire mission. Same thing down there. So basically, the first guys to meet Taliban. But yeah, so we went there and it was secure in like 2 years. But we obviously committed more troops. Not saying the Marines are better than the British. I just think British.
Yeah. It sounded rough, though. It sounded like you guys had, from what I read, like you just had these old vehicles from like the beginning of the Afghan war that were just constantly breaking down.
Yeah. I stopped taking vehicles. I can probably count vehicle patrols in my hands. But so
Marines are so proud of doing more with less, but also they're given less. It's like the leadership is just like, how much can we make it suck and keep our Marines pissed off? We had 10
wounded in the first 2 weeks. Sent home.
Oh my gosh.
So we came reinforced. We pulled guys from the IRR, the inactive reserve.
Yeah.
So these guys were in college.
Glad it wasn't me. Jeez.
These guys were in college, 2 years out, like long hair, got a little bit out of shape, and now they're in Afghanistan. And so we had reinforced platoon. My squad was 14 people, and we had 4 squads in a platoon. And within 2 weeks, we had to break down to 3 squads because we lost so many guys from IEDs. And so we had a ratchet strap that door shut. So we'd take a ratchet strap, put on each handle, and go. So, and then in August, 5 people burned alive in a fucking Humvee. We were victims of budget. That deployment. That's why I walked everywhere, and that's why people got mad, but they survived at least. So they can stay mad the rest of their lives, but at least they can remember.
Yeah. You had a moment in there too that kind of paralleled a moment I had in Afghanistan where you talk about just this one guy coming up and sort of attacking the fob, and it was just basically you shooting at him, lobbing grenades at him, honestly, until he passed. I had a similar moment in Afghanistan. This was after Operation Whalers. We were kind of like hiking down, and we were cleared to shoot anybody that had like a radio or a cell phone. And I just remember, I've been shooting a whole bunch of rounds off or whatever at muzzle flashes, dirt, and this and that. And this was the first time there were like 2 dudes walking down there, and they seemed to have a cell phone. A corporal in our squad sort of just took a standing shot, 400 yards, man. Shot the one guy. And so I picked up my rifle and I shot the other one. And then they were like, oh, cease fire, cease fire. But it was the first time it was like just me. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I wanted to kind of dig into how you felt at that moment, because you wrote about it, kind of not feeling kind of numbed out at the time, and my experience was just totally not numbed
I
out.
was,
Mine was pretty
I was,
intense.
I don't know, I was exhausted from op tempo because we had very high op tempo and we lived in tents, no AC. It was summer Afghanistan. I was like, and if you thought you were getting sleep, a fly would just come, zzz, wake you. So I hadn't slept for months, and
Yeah.
it was dark. And I talked to we had finally got internet for like 2.5 months, and I was talking to my sister on Yahoo chat, and all of a sudden I heard gunfire, and one of my team leaders ran in and said, "Hey, dude, we're getting attacked." I was on QR at the time, so I was like, I ran to the tent, I grabbed my freaking grenade belt, 12 grenades and my rifle, and then grabbed any magazines, so that's all I had. I got up on there. No one brought their MVGs. And then my McDaniel was trying to shoot a pop up so we could see. We're getting shot at, but we could see. And it was a dud, so he was
Oh my
smacking it like this.
gosh.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to shoot grenades. And flash, bring out the silhouette. So I'd shoot a grenade, see the silhouette. And shoot a grenade, you see the silhouette. And I think it probably shot. I don't know. But eventually, one landed, and the silhouette was where it landed. Silhouette fell. I was like, and then we didn't hear anything. I was like, oh, I guess we got him. And then I was like, well, let's go do a BDA real quick. We went out there, had everyone do a big 360. And then I walked up, make sure he had an vest on. And it was clear, called the lieutenant out. He came out. He put a freaking bolt through his head. I don't know why. He just wanted to shoot his round. And then I was like, all right. Sent a guy back to the body bag, dragged it in. We kept it next to the ammo. And then I went to sleep. And I slept better
It's
than I had.
intense. It's
I listened
intense.
to, I was going to sleep to music. I listened to Hey Man, Nice Shot by Filter. It just happened to be on the
Jeez.
playlist. I don't know.
Do you ever think about that moment
I
nowadays, or
do,
is it kind
I
of in
do
the
because after the fact, because during the moment, it was like, this is what I have to do. But after the next morning, I had to take his body, put it on the front of the Humvee, because so we woke up, his family was outside waiting, right? Like 100, 200
Jeez.
meters away. So we went out there, talked to them. We're like, we're missing our brother or something. I was like, okay, 1 second. I went and grabbed his body on the Humvee, drove it out there, and unzipped it on. It was like, this is him. We broke down crying. I was like, okay, pull a map. Like, show me where you live. They pointed, and then I was like, okay, I'll be there in a bit. So we drove out there, got the body off, and I asked him, what's the story?
That's fucking crazy, man. Because, like, that's something I think that most people don't realize about the war, was how personal that it got. I met the mom of the guy who shot me and killed Lopez, and you met the family of the guy that you shot.
Yeah, I brought the body back to that.
It kind of really just brings it like right into your face. It's like that's intensely
Yeah, like I killed your
personal.
brother, and here he
You
is.
know,
And I went to their house and brought him there. Like, do whatever you want with him. But I did ask him, I was like, why did he do it? And and obviously they didn't tell me, but you could tell they were pressured. Taliban.
yeah,
The Taliban probably came there and said,
that's
do
fucked
this
up.
because they want to test our defenses, and or they'd kill his family. I don't know.
I just remember feeling like I had maybe won the Super Bowl, but also done something really terrible at the same time. Like it was taboo, to like shoot somebody. But I got a hit of like adrenaline in my body that I could taste. And I'll tell you, like, I had surgery a few years back, and I have Raynaud's, so like I don't do well in the cold. Sometimes get like shivering attacks. So I came out of the OR, and I just get the shivering attack, and I had a hernia surgery. So it was like the most intense pain I'd ever felt. So they shot me full of Dilaudid, and I was like, I know some people it's like heroin or whatever, but I'm like, dude, nothing comes close to like the hit of adrenaline I got that fucking day. Like the adrenaline you'll get being in like real combat, it's like a drug.
I mean, I was on I'm not gonna lie, I was on a high after for a long time. But I was still able to sleep because I was just so tired. But I mean, I was 23, right? And people were slapping me on the back, calling me 203 sniper. So it's like, yeah, you're happy. But then I do know I killed an innocent person. I mean, he was shooting, but he was not trying to kill us. He was doing what he had to do because he was a victim of.
That's crazy, man.
But it doesn't bother me.
Well, it's still a crazy story. But thanks for sharing that crazy story. So then, man, when you got out of the military, were you at all like interested in re-enlisting after that, or no? Or you just done?
Let me tell you quick. So we got back from Parma, and they said if you get out of the Marine Corps after the date of September 15th, you're good to go. I mean, you have to do 3 months in Afghanistan. If you get out before that, goodbye. You can go FAP, or you can go be a coyote, or whatever you want. So me, Mason, Donaldson, Chavez, some other guys got roped into it, and some guys that didn't meet that requirement volunteered, like real. So I had to go to Afghanistan for 3 months. But we pulled in this guy who'd never been deployed to take over a squad leader for a deployment that we were expecting 20% casualties. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to stay the whole time. So the Marine Corps said, all right, we'll give you $2,000 to extend your contract 3 months to stay full deployment. So I signed it. I did it. When I got back from Afghanistan, I went to start my out processing, and I went to go get paid, and they said, what contract? I was like, roger that. Because they tried to send me to corporal school, and they were asking me to stay in. Some people were, but after getting burned like that, and it's $3,000. Just give me the money that you promised. But also the new leadership, we almost replaced the entire battalion. We got a whole new staff, and they came in hot. Like, they're like, hey, best thing you do is disappear. That's what he told me. As soon as I got off the plane, I lost my squad. So I was like, all right, I'll do it.
It's tough when they didn't go through what you just went through, and it's like you're just a piece of the machine.
I became worthless the second
and not very useful anymore.
I became worthless the second I touched U.S. soil.
That's crazy too. I went to the corporal's course with Dom Strand, and all the cats there were like, "How do you have so many ribbons? Why are you drinking so much beer at lunch? How do you run so fast?" They were like, because we would, dude. We'd have a couple beers at lunch and then go back to the corporal's course because we were just like, well, I don't give a fuck.
The gym's not scheduled on the war, schedule.
Like, yeah. We would waste all those kids at fucking PT in the morning and then drink beer at lunch, and they were like, "What is wrong?" They're like, "Those infantry guys are crazy." Yeah. Man.
I got my medals in the mail.
Yeah, I got probably half of mine in the mail too.
No envelope.
You never get to wear them. Yeah.
Whatever.
How it goes, I guess. Man, we've been going at it for a while, so I wanted to get into like what you did after the military and maybe some ultra marathoning stuff, but I feel like that's what most people talk to you about on the podcast.
We can do that if you want. This time I should probably go to sleep soon.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a second episode and bring you back. It's been like an hour 20, and I got a wife and kids to get back to, man. It's been good to reconnect and dig into some of the shit that maybe we've had 20 years to think about, and kind of, I don't know, just kind of integrate that into who we are now. How I feel like it. Because you're in your 20s, man, just going through the stuff. It's like you're just trying to make it moment to moment, in combat.
I feel like it gave me a good foundation to build upon. It made me appreciate everything afterwards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like these days, I'm like, what do you guys got a bitch about? You know?
Yeah, right.
Like,
Just the monotony, the
yeah.
boredom. And you gotta get in. Yeah, that's why you gotta get a hobby like jumping out of planes or running 100 miles across
Yeah, rock
Scotland,
climbing, diving.
or 250 or whatever it is across Scotland.
Yeah.
What drives you? I'll end on this note. What drives you now that maybe didn't drive you before? What's your why?
Right now, my why is to work as hard as I can, earn as much money as I can to make sure that my kids have the best future.
Yeah, that one. Well, you got three young kids too.
That's why I'm working Christmas right now.
Thunderdome for sure. Got 3 boys. Yeah, it definitely drives me. But yeah, I think I'll definitely have to have you back, man, just to dig into some of the post-military stuff and contracting and that. If you're
definitely. It's still writing that. Don't have much time right now. So.
Yeah, and if you ever drop in Colorado for more than a couple hours, man, you gotta stop by and meet the fam.
No, definitely. Actually, I was gonna tell you before you invited me on this today. It's like I'll just fly out there and we can do it in person.
Yeah, maybe the next time, episode 2, we'll do it, man. Yeah, that would sound good. I think we'll have to. I think I got the equipment for it, so we'll figure.
Is it better than this?
It's a little better than that, yeah. First Civ Div is in session up here. Sure. Yeah, all right. Well, cool. Thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for taking the time. And again, it was like super good to just reconnect and hash out some of that stuff. Your book was amazing, right? So everybody needs to go get the book. We'll make a short. Go get the book. It's available on Amazon. I loved it, man. I mean, it's definitely just a no frills. This is what it is, sort of grunt life situation. So I love the book. And I learned a lot about, honestly, a lot about the war. It's kind of like I didn't know a lot of the stuff that was happening just with other squads who were in the same town. It's kind of strange how it's all, I don't know, your worldview is just packed in combat to like the 3 feet of space that you own sometimes, you know. So it was good for me psychologically to learn more about what's going on and just to hear your story, man. You got an incredible
kind of just
story.
networks everything together.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll be excited for the second one if you ever get that bad boy done.
I will.
So we're working on it. All right, well, thanks, man. Again, take care, and I guess we'll stop the recording. And
all right, appreciate it, Mark. Thank you.